Who knew when Tarte first released this lip product, it would launch an entirely new lip category that's a bit nuanced. There are tons of these tinted glossy lip balms out now. They're all a bit different and they are not created equally. They vary wildly in terms of opacity, shine, lasting power, thickness, stiffness, stickiness, value, scent, taste, and of course overall quality. And I now have 32 glossy lip balms here at all price ranges to review for you. You know, this started because I love this lip category. So I had quite a few and I thought, why don't I grab a few more popular ones and throw them into the mix? So I ended up with a little more than 20 and then some new ones launched. So I had around 25 and then over 30 and here we are. I may not have every single one under the sun, but I have a good amount here and this is where I landed. I feel like I can give you a good perspective on all of these drugstore and high-end tinted glossy lip balms. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. The first section is going to be drugstore and drugstore priced glossy lip balms under $20, and then I'll review high-end and luxury. I'll sprinkle my thoughts throughout as I give you all the information and the reviews on each glossy tinted lip balm. And at the end, I'm going to give you my personal top favorites in several different categories because everyone's preferences are different when it comes to this type of lip product. Your preferences may not match mine, so I thought this would be a good way to structure this particular video. On screen, I'll display ratings for each glossy lip balm based on bullet firmness, how stiff or squishy the actual bullet is, shine, opacity, meaning is it more of a sheer tint or is it getting pretty close to a lipstick in terms of opacity, lip smoothing, longevity. And when I'm talking about longevity, I don't necessarily mean does the color stay on your lips? That's part of it, but can you feel the hydrating properties even as it starts to wear down? Texture, how slippy, creamy, or sticky it is, and value based on a breakdown of the overall value per 0.1 ounce of the product. There were some surprises here. You could end up seeing a pretty nicely priced product with a terrible value because there's just not much housed inside the tube. You can see the scale that I'm using here to give that value breakdown. I'll try and add any noteworthy beneficial ingredients on screen as I'm talking too. One quick thing you need to know is that the pigmentation around the perimeter of my lips is darker than on the inside. It sort of looks like I'm wearing lip liner, but I'm not. So I just wanted you to know that for the application clips that were taken over a period of months in various locations. I don't have a lip liner on in my application clips, but it is a good way to see how pigmented or sheer these tinted glossy lip balms are. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the drugstore and drugstore priced tinted glossy lip balms. First up is Colourpop So Juicy Plumping Gloss Balm with Peptides. This is $10 for 0.07 ounce, making it $14.27 for 0.1 ounce. That's a 5 for value right off the bat. Now, one thing I noticed with all of these as I started testing them out that can make a big difference is how they operate, the clicking or twisting mechanism. So the clicker on this, for example, is pretty loud. I am not going to use this in a quiet public place because of that. Some of these function very elegantly while others are a bit cheap. I'll be discussing that. Now this bullet has a lot of squish to it, which I don't mind, but some people do. That's why we're discussing that as we go through. You need to see the differences with all of these. And because of that, it does not retract back down because you would end up with a squishy, smushy mess. These have a faint, sweet scent to them and a mild taste at first that I don't really notice for very long. And they have a bit of a cooling feel to them as well. They feel creamy and hydrating on my lips and have a thick, comfortable, nourishing texture, but they're not sticky or goopy and have a nice shine and pigmentation. The ingredient profile is really nice. I'm all about products with ceramides and peptides, and you get that plus so much more, plus a nice level of shine and pigmentation. These do a really nice job of smoothing my lip lines, which is what to me gives that plumping effect. The texture and shine and pigmentation reminds me a lot of the original Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip, and the cooling sensation reminds me of the original Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip Plump. So to me, this is a really great, less expensive, hybrid of the original Tarte formulas that kind of started this whole thing. I know we haven't talked about those yet, but I do think Colourpop did a really great job with their version, clicker aside. Now, one difference would be the lasting power. I think these have moderate lasting power versus the longer lasting power of both Tarte lip products. But overall, I think this is a really nice drugstore priced option. Next, we have e.l.f. Pout Clout, which retails for $8 for 0.07 ounce, and that breaks down to $11.43 for 0.1 ounce, giving it a 5 for value. This also has an ultra slim bullet like the Colourpop, and it also has a loud clicker that feels a bit cheap to me, and this bullet also does not retract because it is very squishy. This has a creamy thick texture upon application and a minty cooling sensation. Now, I detect a bit of a sweet smell, but there is a hint of a strange taste to these when I apply them that I don't love. I get moderate pigment with lots of shine, which smooths my lip lines nicely, which gives sort of a plumping effect. These feel moisturizing and creamy, bordering on slightly sticky, and have average lasting power. This is Flower Beauty Plump Up Gloss Stick, which has been on my lips during this video in the shade Spicy. This retails for $12 for 0.05 ounce, which makes it $24 for 0.1 ounce, giving it a 4 for value. Now, the clicker on this feels a bit cheap. It's loud and has sort of a reverb to it. You can kind of hear the spring. And sometimes if I haven't used this for a while, it sticks down on the first click or two, but it always ends up working itself out. I'm always a little bit nervous about it though. This has a cooling, minty feel to it that I can kind of taste a hint of at first. I don't mind it at all. I don't smell anything. It has an ultra thin bullet that is giving us a lot of middle of the road things. It's not too squishy or too stiff. It also doesn't retract. I forgot to note that when we talked about the clicker. It applies very creamy and has a nice in-between texture that isn't too thick or too thin. And as it wears, I feel like it sort of melts into my lips a little bit more. I can sort of feel that lip oil texture coming out a bit more. It feels nourishing and hydrating, very comfortable. It has a nice opacity and shine and does a great job of smoothing, which makes my lips appear more plump than they are. And I'd say the lasting power is average, which is the nature of this glossy lip balm product. Next, we have Lottie London Cheeky Kiss. This is $7.99 for 0.05 ounce, which makes it $15.98 for 0.1 ounce, giving it a $5 value. This is another ultra slim bullet that's in the shape of a heart. I was really skeptical about that at first, but I really grew to like it. There's something about the contours of the heart that hug your lips really nicely. I do not love this clicky button. It is extremely loud, as in I cannot apply this in public ever. It's that loud. I don't notice a scent or a taste to this. And even though the bullet is pretty stiff, this is still a non-retractable bullet. It's very creamy to apply and has a thin, comfortable texture that gives full opacity and moderate shine that doesn't really smooth my lip lines, but it doesn't exaggerate them either. And it lasts a nice amount of time too. This feels like a thin, comfortable, creamy lipstick with hydrating properties. Milani Keep It Full Glossy Plumping Balm. This is $15.99 for 0.07 ounce, making it $22.84 for 0.1 ounce, giving it a 4 for value. Now, this to me is the highest end looking packaging we've seen so far that's drugstore or drugstore priced until you start to click it. And then you hear how loud it is. I just realized this is also the first twist up clicker we've had. So it is a loud twisting click up mechanism that also does not retract. You can't twist it back down. It has an ultra slim, very squishy bullet that melts into your lips as you apply it. So you do want to use a light hand, which is the nature of a squishy bullet in general. And it has a minty cooling feel to it, but I don't notice a scent or a taste. It has a nice glide and slip as you apply it and feels thick and creamy, yet lightweight at the same time. It's very nourishing and hydrating and smoothing on my lip lines, which does make my lips appear plumper, as we've established. And these give a sheer tint with a lot of glossy shine, and even once that tint wears away, my lips still feel nice and hydrated. They still feel good, which goes a long way with me anyway. If you enjoy a sheer lip product that feels nice and comfortable on your lips, you will probably like this. Next is Nature Republic Honey Melting Lip. This retails for $13 for 0.1 ounce, giving it a 5 for value. This has an ultra slim bullet and a very, very quiet clicker. It's very soft. You almost can't even hear it. And you almost don't even notice it rising as it clicks up. It's very, very subtle. It's a very elegant dispensing mechanism. The bullet is fairly squishy, but it's not so squishy that you need to just barely tap it to your lips or the bullet will completely squish in. You still need to use a light hand, but you don't have to be so careful like you do with some of these glossy lip balms. And it glides on really nicely while having a bit of a grip to it as it adheres to your lips. It has a very faint, light, pleasant scent, but I don't notice a taste. And this gives translucent pigment with a glassy shine that smooths my lips and has a comfortable, cushiony, creamy, grippy feel to it without stickiness. These stay on my lips a nice amount of time, and even once the pigment wears away, my lips still feel incredibly hydrated and comfortable. Now, these do need to be ordered, but it's been worth every penny I reach for this a lot. NYX Fat Oil Slick Click Shiny Lip Balm retails for $11 for 0.07 ounces, which breaks down to $15.71 for 0.1 ounce, giving it a 5 for value. So we have another ultra slim bullet that has a loud clicker, but it doesn't feel cheap even though it's loud. It feels pretty sturdy. The bullet is not too squishy, it's not too stiff, it is not retractable, and it feels creamy upon application and a little bit goopy, and has a faint fruity scent. I don't notice a taste. The pigmentation has a nice tint to it. It's somewhat sheer and has a nice amount of shine that doesn't really smooth or exaggerate my lip lines. Now, when this first launched, people were saying it was a dupe for Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lips, but I never felt that way because there's something about this product in particular that doesn't feel like most of the rest of these that hydrate, nourish, and condition my lips in addition to giving them shine. It's like they absorb into my lips and give an effect on top of my lips. This just feels like it's sitting on top of my lips, kind of like Vaseline or Aquaphor, more of an occlusive type product. I don't know why that is, but that's kind of what I get from this. My lips never really feel hydrated or nourished, and I would say the lasting power is average. Pixi LipGlow Tinted Lip Balm retails for $14 for 0.05 ounce, making it $28 for 0.1 ounce, which is a 3 for value. I think this is the first 3 we have in the video. We have another ultra thin bullet with a nice, elegant, clicky mechanism that doesn't retract. The bullet is stiff with a little bit of give, and there's a bit of drag to these as you apply them, but they're not sticky or tacky. I notice a slight sweet minty scent and feel that does go away, and a mild, slightly bitter taste that I never could quite put my finger on. They give sheer pigment with soft shine and don't really do much for smoothing my lip lines. They sort of feel like a regular stiff chapstick at first, sort of thin and like they adhere to my lips. The nourishment and hydration is okay with these, and they wear away pretty quickly. Sephora collection About That Shine Sheer Shine lipstick. That was kind of a mouthful. So this retails for $16 for 0.1 ounce, making it a 4 for value. And this is our first smooth twist up and twist back down glossy lip balm. It functions just like a regular lipstick. Now, instead of an ultra slim bullet, we have just a slim bullet here that's stiff and glides on nicely with a lightweight, thin, slippy consistency. I don't notice a scent, but there is a slight faint sweet taste after I apply it. Very faint. After I tested this out, I looked at some reviews and I do see some people say it has a taste and a scent. And maybe it's subjective, or maybe people are confusing scent with taste. I don't know. I'm just giving you my thoughts. This gives moderate, natural looking pigment with really nice shine and flattering smoothness to my lip lines, and it has average lasting power. Okay, it's time for high-end and luxury. I think you're going to be surprised at the value you see with some of these. It's very much in line with what we just saw with the drugstore category. Now, there are more products in this section because there are more glossy lip balms available from high-end and luxury brands. So I'm starting with BareMinerals Dewy Lip Gloss Balm. This is $25 for 0.1 ounce, making it a 4 for value. So this has a slim bullet that twists up smoothly and back down and has nice stiffness to it, so you don't have to be careful when you apply it. It has a fairly slippy, creamy consistency that glides on smoothly but still has some grip to it, so it adheres to your lips and is in between a thick and thin texture. So it's not really thick like a lipstick or thin like a lip oil. It's a nice in-between balance. There seems to be a faint fruity scent if I hold my nose right to the bullet, but I don't really notice it otherwise, and I don't really do that on a daily basis. I'm equating the pigment I get from this to that of stained glass. It's sheerly pigmented, but can be built up somewhat with a high glassy shine that smooths my lip lines, yet even if you build it up, it doesn't feel thick or goopy. The wear time on these is fairly short, but they're a pleasure to reapply. Chantecaille Lip Chic retails for $44 for 0.07 ounce, which breaks down to $62.86 for 0.1 ounce, giving it a 1 for value. So this has a slim bullet, which smoothly twists up and back down, and it has a creamy glide to it. The bullet isn't too soft or too hard. It applies easily and is nourishing. I notice a soft vanilla scent and no taste. This is a nice blend of lipstick-like pigment and creamy texture that's smoothing on lip lines and ultra comfortable to wear. It's not too thick or too thin, and these last a decent amount of time on my lips. Charlotte Tilbury Hyaluronic Happikiss Lip Balms retail for $35 for 0.08 ounces, which breaks down to $43.75. That gives them a 2 for value. These have a slim bullet with an elegant, clicky twist up that doesn't retract. So you can slightly hear that twist up. It's nice and quiet. There's no scent or taste that I notice until these start to get old. I have had these once they start to go rancid. You'll know when that happens, but that could be said for any lipstick you own. The bullet is moderately squishy. It feels thick and slightly sticky. Sometimes I feel like I have issues with this getting on the surface of my teeth because it just, I don't know, has that thickness to it. These have a lot of shine and pigment, and they smooth my lip lines nicely. They also have nice wear time because of that thicker, sticky texture. Next is Clarins Hydrating Peptide and Plumping Lip Oil Balm. These retail for $30 for 0.1 ounce, which gives them a 3 for value. We have another slim bullet that smoothly twists up and twists back down, and they have a fairly stiff bullet. So you don't have to worry about a squishy texture, although it's soft enough that it glides on extremely smoothly. I would say it's a step above or a step below, however you want to look at it, a fully stiff bullet. I love the natural fruity scent these have. They have the same scent that the Clarins lip oils have, which I personally really enjoy. I don't notice a taste to these. They have a thin, slippy feel as you glide them on your lips. You can feel it's a lip oil stick balm, but your lips don't feel oily or greasy. They give a sheer stain-looking tint to your lips and lots of shine. And even though they have a thinner texture to them, they feel creamy and do a great job of flattering and smoothing my lips. To me, these have a luxe look and feel, and thanks to the nice sensorial experience, they're a pleasure to reapply, which is nice because they do wear away fairly quickly for a lipstick gloss balm, but not necessarily for a lip oil. So it depends on how you're looking at them. For a luxe brand, I think the value is pretty decent too. Next is Clinique Almost Lipstick in Black Honey. I'm going to put on screen what it would look like if you were to purchase it. This was a free gift with purchase. It retails for $25 for 0.07 ounces, which breaks down to $35.71 for 0.1 ounce, giving it a 3 for value. Now, the version you would buy also has a slim bullet that twists up and back down, and it has regular bullet stiffness with a slippy consistency that glides on easily with a thin texture. Now, I personally find the light makeup-y scent taste a bit off-putting. I know it doesn't bother some people, but it's just always bothered me a little bit. It has a thin formula that can be worn as a sheer tint or built up. However, I feel like I have to coat my lips over and over to build up the pigment, and the thicker I build it, the more slippy it feels on my lips. I can just feel those layers building up on one another. It has a nice shine to it and does an okay job of smoothing lip lines. It just never fully feels like it absorbs or sinks into my lips and truly hydrates them, but sits on top of my lips. It's not long lasting and it needs to be reapplied fairly frequently. I know this is a long time viral product. A lot of people really love this, but I've never quite gotten the hype around it. And I'm well aware I'm in the minority. I just think that there are better tinted glossy lip balms that exist, which is part of the reason why I'm doing this video, to see what those are. Colleen Rothschild Hydrashine Lipstick Balm is $28 for 0.06 ounce, which makes it $46.67 per 0.1 ounce. That gives it a 1 for value. So this has an ultra slim bullet with a really nice clicking mechanism. It's very, very soft and elegant, and it is non-retractable. It has a soft, squishy, creamy texture, similar to Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip, which we still haven't talked about, but it's more lightweight with moderate thickness that melts into my lips. It has semi-sheer pigmentation, really nice shine, and it smooths my lip lines beautifully. These feel extremely comfortable, hydrating, they're flattering, and long-lasting in that even when the pigmentation wears away, my lips still feel incredibly nourished after. M Cosmetics Lip Cushion Tinted Lip Luminizer retails for $24 for 0.05 ounce, which makes it $48 for 0.1 ounce, giving it a 2 for value. We have another ultra slim bullet that has a moderately loud twist up mechanism that doesn't twist back down. It's a fairly squishy bullet that feels very creamy upon and after application. I don't notice a scent or taste, and it has a nice in-between texture. It's not thin like an oil or thick like a lipstick. It gives nice shine and pigment while not necessarily smoothing or exaggerating my lip lines, and it has a nourishing, cushiony feel to it and average lasting power. Fenty Gloss-Balm Stix High Shine Gloss Stick is $25 for 0.12 ounces, making it $20.83 for 0.1 ounce, giving it a 4 for value. So this has a slim, squishy bullet that smoothly twists up and back down like a traditional lipstick. It feels very creamy as it glides on and after. And it has that same fruity scent that I personally like that the original Fenty Gloss-Balm glosses do, and a very, very faint taste at first that I don't really notice later on. These have a thicker texture and a pretty full opacity, both of which, in my opinion, lead more towards the lipstick side of things. Even though the shade I'm applying here, Blaze Donut, is pale, you can see how pigmented it is. These have a very glassy shine that flatters and smooths lip lines. These feel extremely nourishing, hydrating, and comfortable, and last for a good amount of time too. So I have another Fenty lip product that fits this category that a lot of people I think have forgotten about, but it's still around, and I have loved this product since it first launched. So this is Fenty Slip Shine Sheer Shiny Lipstick. It is $26 for 0.098 ounce, making it $26.53 for 0.1 ounce, and that gives it a 3 for value. This also has a slim bullet that smoothly twists up and back down, and the bullet is a nice balance between hard and soft. It has a comfortable stiffness to it that gives a creamy, smooth glide, and it has sort of a sweet gourmand scent and taste to it, and medium buildable pigment that feels nourishing, creamy, and hydrating, and it gives flattering shine that smooths my lip lines and lasts nicely. This has just been a longtime favorite of mine that used to be available on Sephora's website. Now it's only available directly from the Fenty Beauty website, but it looks like all shades are available. It doesn't look like it's being discontinued, so I had to include it because it fits this category just as perfectly as the Gloss-Balm Stix. It just has a different texture and slightly different properties, but it's every bit as good in my opinion. Glossier Ultralip High Shine Lipstick is $22 for 0.1 ounce, if I can get that lid off, which gives it a 4 for value. This has a slightly stiff, slim bullet that smoothly twists up and back down. And to me, this has sort of a stiff, waxy consistency with a bit of drag to it as you apply it. I don't notice any taste or scent. It feels lightweight and has a thin, comfortable, creamy feel and gives stain-like, moderately sheer pigment that can be built up. It does feel thicker as I build it though. I find that it starts out with a nice sheen and pigment and quickly fades. The time between these clips is 4 minutes and a sip of water. As it wears away, the shine or sheen becomes duller and it doesn't feel as moisturizing on my lips. And as it wears away, it leaves a bit of a stain, which normally I would love, but my lips start to feel a bit dry and my lip lines start to look more emphasized, which you can see here in this clip from an hour and 15 minutes later. I think we can tell already this is not going to make one of my top favorite lists at the end of the video. By the way, if you are enjoying this video thus far, I would love it if you would give it a thumbs up. It does help our videos out when you do that, and subscribe if you enjoy everyday beauty made easy, because that is what my channel is all about. So up next we have Hourglass Phantom Volumizing Glossy Lip Balm, which is $36 for 0.05 ounce, making it $72 for 0.1 ounce, giving it a 1 for value. This has an ultra slim bullet with a very quiet, very elegant twist up mechanism. I mean, you can barely hear that. It is ultra smooth. Now you can not retract this due to the slightly squishy bullet, so you do want to use a light hand with this. These have a very soft, faint, slightly minty feeling to them at first because of that plumping effect, but they don't burn or tingle or anything like that. I don't notice a scent or a taste though, and they have a slightly thick, smooth, creamy texture with a shiny, glossy finish and medium buildable pigmentation. They do a fantastic job of smoothing, nourishing, and hydrating, which makes my lips look plumper than they are. And they last a long time for this type of product, both in terms of the product itself. I can reach for this for special occasions and not worry about it wearing away 30 minutes after I apply it. But even when it does wear away, my lips feel really good for a long time after. They feel hydrated and conditioned. I think Hourglass did a really great job with this lip product. This is IT Cosmetics Pillow Lips Solid Serum Lip Gloss. It is $28 for 0.07 ounces, which breaks down to $40 for 0.1, giving it a 2 for value. So I think these are being discontinued. I'm not positive, but that's what the signs are leading to, but I'm including it anyway very quickly. So this has a very loud click up, cheap clicker. Very loud. I actually had a few of these and some of them malfunctioned and just completely stopped clicking, so I had to toss them. Maybe that's why they're being discontinued, or maybe it's because they seem to go rancid pretty fast. I recall these having a mild, pleasant scent at first, but that just didn't last long. This one now has this kind of minty, makeup-y scent that it's just kind of gross. The bullet is ultra thin and it's not squishy, so you can apply it pretty carefree. And it has a thin, somewhat slippy, creamy texture. These are fairly sheer and semi-matte once they're settled in, and not very smoothing on my lip lines. I'd say they're okay when it comes to hydration. They're not the most nourishing, hydrating I've ever tried, and they wear away pretty quickly and start to feel kind of dry and sticky as they wear away. And the only thing I really see them claim ingredient-wise, which is different than most of the other products I'm sharing in this video, is that they're collagen infused, which might have something to do with why why they don't feel as hydrating and as nourishing as the other products in this video. Kosas Wet Stick Moisturizing Shiny Sheer Lipstick with Ceramides is $24 for 0.1 ounce, giving it a 4 for value. This has a slim bullet that twists up and back down smoothly, and it has a fairly stiff yet soft bullet with a creamy, lightweight, smooth glide. So you don't have to be very careful when you apply these. You can be pretty carefree. The consistency is thin and lightweight with nice shine and pigmentation, and they can be built up without feeling thick. And they do a great job of smoothing my lip lines, and they last a long time. These look and feel so close to a traditional bullet lipstick, but they're so comfortable, lightweight, and hydrating, and never build up and become thick and goopy if you reapply them. They feel very soft. So if regular creamy bullet lipsticks feel too thick or drying for you, but typical glossy lip balms are a bit too squishy or they don't wear quite long enough, this might be the option you want to go for. I remember when these first launched, I fell in love with them right away. I think I have like 5 of these. They also have a nice aesthetically pleasing magnetic closure. Lancome Lip Idol Squalane 12 Butter Glow Hydrating Lip Balm is $32 for 0.1 ounce, giving it a 3 for value. I give it an A+ for this elegant, really pretty packaging, and a D for the horrid name. I mean, could we be a little catchier, Lancome? I don't know what they were thinking there. These have a slim bullet that twists up and down very smoothly with a smushy, cushiony, soft, creamy texture and some grip as you apply it. It sort of loses its shape fairly easily as it melts into your lips, so you do need to use a light hand as you apply it because it is pretty squishy. There's a faint minty scent here mixed with something else I can't quite put my finger on, and a slight faint taste at first as well. Once on the lips, it feels fairly thick and creamy and nourishing. I know you're probably sick of hearing that word by now. It has moderately sheer pigment and shine and lip smoothing qualities and moderate lasting power. Lawless Forget the Filler Lip Plumping Line Smoothing Tinted Lip Balm is $26 for 0.1 ounce, giving it a 3 for value. This has a slim bullet that smoothly twists up and back down. We've seen a lot of these recently. This has kind of a Play-Doh scent, but no taste to it, and it feels a bit cooling, minty. The bullet is pretty stiff and has some drag to it when you apply it. Once on the lips, it feels thin and comfortably creamy with a slight grip to it that's not sticky or oily, slippy. It's somewhere in between. The pigmentation is pretty sheer and it gives nice shine, conditioning, hydration, and smooths lip lines, but doesn't plump like the name says it does. The lasting power is moderate. This was never really a standout for me for some reason, even when people were raving about it. It was just kind of okay for me. It wasn't really a memorable glossy lip balm for me. I'm not exactly sure why. Lisa Eldridge Balm Embrace is $23. Now on the bottom of this tube and on her website, it states there is 0.02 ounces in here. And just looking at the bullet, that does not make sense. This is more than 0.02 ounces. Also, 0.02 ounces would be $115 per 0.1 ounce, which is a 0 for value. That just was not making sense here. So I looked at the grams that she has listed and it said 2.8, and that is 0.09 ounces if you convert it, which makes sense visually. I'm not quite sure where that conversion hiccup happened, but we're gonna say that this is 0.09 ounces because that converts from 2.8 grams. I'm not sure where that 0.02 ounces came from. So $23 for 0.09 ounce equals $25.56 per 0.1 ounce, and that gives this a 4 for value. This slim bullet twists up and down very smoothly, and it is a slim, solid, non-squishy bullet that applies very similarly to a regular lipstick. It has sort of a slow application, a slow glide versus the glide of your typical glossy lip balm or lip oil, but no stickiness or tackiness at all. There's a faint, almost vanilla scent in the bullet, but when I apply it, I get kind of a makeup-y taste that doesn't seem to go away. These feel lightweight and thin while delivering nice pigmentation, flattering shine, and smoothness to my lips, and the lasting power is average. Makeup by Mario Moisture Glow Plumping Lip Serum is $24 for 0.08 ounce, which is $30 for 0.1 ounce, giving it a 3 for value. So this has an elegant, clicky twist up. It's very soft and quiet. You can click it up, but you can't click it back down because of the squishy bullet that melts into your lips as you apply it. You definitely want to use a light hand with these. These have a minty, cooling feel to them with no smell or taste. They have a nice glide, slip, and feel sort of thick and creamy. They're incredibly nourishing and hydrating, yet feel lightweight and not goopy or sticky once they're applied. They give a lot of shine and have really nice pigment and make my lips look fuller because of how well they smooth, nourish, and hydrate. NARS Afterglow Sensual Shine Hydrating Lipstick is $32 for 0.05 ounce, making it $64 for 0.1, giving it a 1 for value. So these twist up and back down like a regular bullet lipstick, and the ultra slim bullet is not squishy. It has a nice stiffness to it, so you can apply these without having to be careful. There's no scent or taste, and they have a thin, sort of slippy consistency and feel extremely lightweight on my lips. They do a nice job of smoothing lip lines and giving really nice shine and pigment while feeling moderately nourishing with moderate staying power, and they are a pleasure to reapply. Revie Beauty Effortless Lips are $22 for 0.06 ounce, making them $36.67 for 0.1, giving them a 2 for value. I really enjoy this ultra slim bullet that smoothly twists up and down. It's a moderately solid, very soft bullet that's not squishy, so they're extremely easy to apply and reapply. I also enjoy the faint vanilla scent and taste. They have a creamy texture that feels lightweight and thin, which allows you to wear a thin veil of color or build it without ever feeling sticky or tacky or feeling like you have a lot of layers caked up on your lips. The finish has nice shine and smooths my lip lines and feels comfortable and hydrating, and I would say the lasting power is average. Let's talk about Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip and Juicy Lip Plump together. They are $26 for 0.095 ounce, making them $27.37 for 0.1, which gives them both 3 for value. So they both have very soft, elegant click-up mechanisms. Click this one and this one. They both have mild tropical scents and no taste. Maracuja Juicy Lip has sort of a cooling feel to it, whereas the original doesn't. It just feels normal. And both of the bullets are ultra slim and have a lot of bullets squished to them as they melt onto your lips and feel very creamy and hydrating once they're on your lips. I would say the original is not too thick or too thin, and the Juicy Lip Plump is a little bit thicker than the original, but neither are goopy or sticky in the least. Both of them are very smoothing on your lips and give nice shine and pigment. I think Juicy Lip Plump has a little bit more pigmentation, and the pigmentation lasts nicely for this type of lip product. Even once the pigmentation wears away, my lips feel really nice after. There's a reason why these started an entirely new category of lip. Glossy lip balms are a thing because of these two products, and I am here for it. I love this entire category. All the different types, squishy, solid, sheer, pigmented, you name it. These started it, and they're still really great. Next, we have Too Faced Lip Injection Extreme Plumping Clicks. This is $28 for 0.05 ounce, which is $56 for 0.1 ounce, and that gives it a 1 for value. So this has a loud, I would call it unrefined, clicky, heart-shaped mechanism. It is so loud. I am not clicking this in public. It is loud. It has a fairly squishy bullet that doesn't click back down. You do need to be somewhat careful when you apply this. It melts into your lips and has a creamy texture and medium buildable opacity that feels moderately thick with high shine. It smooths my lip lines, and because of that, they do look plumper. There is a mild strawberry scent here, and I notice a slight plasticky taste. Once I get past the major fiery, burning, stinging sensation that I can't stand, it never goes away, which is why I have a problem telling you anything about the longevity. This is so uncomfortable, I just end up having to wipe it off of my lips. I'm sure there are some people that have no problem with it. I mean, I am fine with some of Too Faced's other lip injection products, but for some reason, this one is just not it for me. YSL Candy Glaze Lip Gloss Stick is $42 for 0.11 ounce. I think this is the first lip product, or maybe the only lip product we have in this video that has over 0.1 ounce in it. So that makes it $38.18 per 0.1 ounce, giving it a 2 for value. This has luxe packaging and a traditional size bullet. It has a soft, clicky twist up. You can sort of hear it. And it does retract. The bullet is moderately soft. You don't have to be super careful when you apply these. They have a fruity scent and a faint taste to them, and a creamy, thicker, somewhat sticky texture that falls kind of in between a balm and a lipstick. I sort of prefer my lip balms to be slippier and my lipsticks to be creamier though. Technically, these do all the things pretty well. You don't have to be careful when you apply them because the bullet isn't too squishy. They have a nice amount of pigment and shine. They smooth lip lines, and they last a decent amount of time, but they have a bit too much thickness, goopiness, tackiness for me personally. They've just never quite done it for me, but I know a lot of people really love these. I mean, the packaging is also nice and elegant, so they have that going for them too. Okay, I have some top picks pulled here in 5 different categories. I'm going to do this in flash round style, I guess. You can see my reviews and my thoughts in the previous sections. I just wanted to very quickly share with you some of the lip glossy balms that I reach for the most. So I'm starting with my top drugstore priced picks. I pulled 4. I have Milani Keep It Full. This is a great sheer option that feels great on my lips even after it wears away. Flower Beauty Plump Up Gloss Stick. It has nice pigmentation and shine and is easy to apply and reapply because the bullet isn't super squishy. Colourpop So Juicy. It's just a really nice hybrid of a Tart Maracuja Juicy Lip and Juicy Lip Plump. It gives me both in one, sort of. And I would say my MVP of the drugstore priced tinted lip glossy balms is the Nature Republic Honey Melting Lip Balm. I just think this is such a nice product at a fantastic price point all around. This just really impressed me. It does everything great. My next category are the ones that are borderline lipsticks. So they're nicely pigmented, but they are lighter weight, creamier, and more hydrating than your traditional bullet lipstick. So I have NARS Afterglow Sensual Shine and Revi Beauty Effortless Lips for my stiffer bullet options that are easy to apply and reapply. The bullets are really slim, they're creamy with thin textures, so they never build up too much and give a nice buildable pigment. There are lots of reasons why these are here. And next I have Kosas Wet Stick. This is a longtime favorite. It has a creamy, hydrating consistency, really nice pigment. It lasts a long time on my lips. There are also many reasons why this is here and why I have, 5 or 6 shades. This has been a staple for me for a really long time. And Fenty Beauty Gloss-Balm Stix. So this is a squishier bullet, but it gives really nice pigment, shine, and smoothness. I love the scent. It's just a pleasure to apply and to wear and to reapply. All the things that I want from a near bullet lipstick formula. Next up, I have my top plumping, squishy bullet formulas, starting with the original Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip Plump. I mean, this has to be in here. It's the original. It started it all, and I just think the formula overall is great. The pigmentation level, shine, smoothing, longevity, everything is fantastic. Even the applicator, it has a nice elegant clicker. There's nothing I don't like. Next is Makeup by Mario Moisture Glow. I really enjoyed this formula the first time I ever tried it. It's soft and squishy, so you do have to be careful, but that's not something that ever bothers me. I love the cooling minty sensation. The pigmentation is great. My lips feel really nice with this. There are a ton of color options to choose from. It's flattering, comfortable. Again, I like everything. You can see my review from earlier. And my top favorite, the value's not great, but it's been worth it for me, and I plan on purchasing other shades. This gets thrown in my bag all the time for various occasions because it's so flattering and comfortable, and the longevity is just there. This is the Hourglass Phantom Volumizing Glossy Lip Balm. This to me has the perfect plumping glossy lip balm formula. It applies beautifully, it's smoothing, it's creamy, it wears so well. It has the right level of pigmentation. I mean, I could go on, but this is probably my favorite overall and my favorite in the plumping category. So let's move on to the top non-plumping squishy formulas. We have Nature Republic Honey Melting Lip here again. I wasn't gonna overlap, but you know, it's my video, I'm overlapping. The Lancome Squalane 12 Butter Glow, whatever that long name is of this Lancome Elegant product. I think this is a really nice product that just kind of does everything just right. It's squishy and leaves my lips looking and feeling really nice. And of course we have the original Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip. It just has to be here. I still love it. And my final category are tinted glossy balms with a stiff bullet and medium buildable pigment. First up, we have Fenty Beauty Slip Shine. I still love this after so many years. I love the level of pigment and the stiff bullet, making it easy to apply and reapply, how comfortable it is, the scent, the taste. It's a really nice glossy lip balm if you're not wanting a super squishy bullet, but you still want all the properties of a tinted glossy lip balm. As is this from BareMinerals. This is a really nice formula that gives you that lip gloss balm lip oil feel. Really pretty tint, shine, pigment, smoothing. It's a pleasure to reapply. This was a favorite after the first time I tried it, so it definitely had to be here. And the Clarins Lip Oil Balm. This also became a favorite the first time I tried it. Love the way these smell and feel, and they have that same beautiful pigment and shine and the conditioning of the lips. Just everything is great. I know I'm saying stiff bullet, but stiffer bullet is probably what I should have said. They're not so stiff that they're hard to apply, but they're not squishy so that you have to be careful when you apply them. This is probably a very long video. I hope you found it helpful in some way. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy everyday beauty made easy, because that is what we're all about here. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see you next time. Bye.